There's a part of me that felt like, oh, I love the experience of like church and community and the music, but you know, every Sunday I was hearing some varied form of like, you don't belong here, just simply because I was queer. And so I don't know, I wanted, the song was sort of like a love letter to both those sides of myself, like the side that believes in spirituality and religion and like wanting to create positive change in the world through that way, but also who's like very gay and very in love and very proud of it, and wanting to be like, both of those things can and should exist in a person, and like people shouldn't discriminate against it.
Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Fire Convos. It's me, Keydra, the entertainment editor here at the Tylt, and we have Joy today.
Hi.
Who is fresh off the stage from performing last night. Welcome.
Thanks.
How do you feel?
Good. It was a great show. I feel like New York is always like a really energetic, interesting crowd. So it was really fun.
And thank you for coming, like literally fresh off the stage. Like last night, I know you must be a little tired.
I'm a little tired, yeah. I didn't sleep because I was watching Golden Girls. So
I love Golden Girls.
The best show.
Aren't they so shady?
They're so shady. I think that's why it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like just watching grandmas drag each other.
Drag each other the entire... Who's your favorite? I'm obsessed with Blanche. I'm Blanche in my head.
Dang. Rose. I love
Rose.
Because I have a really dumb dog. And she's like this old, like white-haired, scraggly dog. And so I think she's like Rose in dog form.
So, singer, musician, guitarist.
Yeah.
That's a guitarist, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you call it.
Okay, good. Guitarist. Do you play any other instruments?
Yeah. I taught myself piano when I was in high school, and I play like bass and a little bit of drums. I'm like a dabbler, so I'm like okay at a lot of instruments.
Oh, that's cool. But the guitar is your favorite?
Yes.
Okay, so talk to me about your relationship with the guitar.
When I was 10, my dad was like obsessed with recording live music performances.
Oh, cool.
So like we had a bunch of VHSs at home of like different concerts, and he played me this concert with Tracy Chapman. She's like this folk singer from the 90s, and it was the first time I had ever seen a black woman play the guitar. And I think it was like, I think it was a perfect mix of like, I grew up in a smaller farming town, and so I was around a lot of country music, and so everything about my childhood sounded a certain way, but I didn't see anyone that like represented that for me. And then I saw this video of Tracy Chapman playing the guitar, and I was like, oh my gosh, black girls can play the guitar too.
It's amazing.
And so my parents like the next day went and bought me a guitar, and I taught myself, like they just like supported and encouraged me, and they're like, you should do it if it interests you.
I love that. Yes, for supportive parents.
We stand supportive parents.
We do. Oh my gosh. Okay, so where did you grow up?
I grew up in Arizona, so I grew up in a town that's like an hour and a half south of Phoenix, which is like the big city, so it's like truly the middle of nowhere, and it's just like dairy farms and cotton.
Wow.
And my family.
And you and your friends.
Yes.
Okay, so when I Googled you, folk music came up. I don't know anything about folk music, to be honest. Before you came into the office, they played me Tracy Chapman. I knew the song, but I didn't like, if you said the name, I wouldn't have known.
Totally.
So talk to me about like folk music. I know it inspired it, but I'm assuming there aren't a lot of black people in folk. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There are not. Especially in Nashville.
Right.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I know how weird it is, but just kind of the circumstances of my life led me to really fall in love with folk music and folk storytelling. And so I was just like, I don't know. I just feel like folk is like folk music and soul music are so connected.
For sure.
And especially in the South, like they're almost interchangeable with like the Americana movement. And so I just was like, I love this music. I love playing the guitar. I love how it feels.
Yeah.
And I want little black girls to have the same moment I did when I saw Tracy Chapman, which is that like if you like folk music or weird country gospel or whatever, like you should just do it, you know, because if we're honest, black people probably had a hand in creating it.
Of course, yeah. It's so funny because, you know, obviously I love hip hop, I love R&B, but then I love country music, and we play music here, and when I play country, they're like, who's playing this? And I'm like, me, guys. And they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, I like country music. So, and I like folk too. Like, I saw her perform last night. You guys, she was amazing. If you ever get the opportunity to see Joy perform, do it. She had the entire room mesmerized. It was very relaxing.
Thank you.
But very, like, inspiring at the same time. It felt powerful. The room felt powerful.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
That's how I felt it, but what does it feel like for you to perform?
It's interesting. I never thought that I would work in music or be a musician. It almost feels like I'm, like, watching a dream version of myself do what I do every night, because I love it so much, but I never, like, I was a shy kid, like, had crazy social anxiety, so I never thought I would be on the stage. But I always, like, when my friends were, like, in fights with their boyfriends, or my sister was going through a hard time, I'd write them songs. And so I think I was just kind of, like, motivated by this is something I do really well and that I love in a way that I can love people in this world well, and I think I should take it as far as I can go to share that positive energy.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about, if you weren't doing music, what would Joy be doing?
I studied English, so I might be an English teacher.
Oh, cool.
You know, super chill. I've always wanted to own a gas station.
Oh, a gas station, Joy.
Because, I mean, not now because we're, like, trying to save the planet,
right.
But in the past, gas has always been in style.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people need gas always.
That's smart.
And so I'm like, I could just chill in, like, a little Chevron with some snacks.
Yeah.
Grab a Slim Jim on the lunch break. Like, it's just, like, the ideal lifestyle. People come in and out.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Travelers from all across the country.
That makes so much sense, but I never thought of that. That's so random, but I love that. So, talk about your song, Sunday. First of all, love the song, love the video.
Couldn't make her proud, though I did my best. I feel like a mess. I feel like I'm stuck in the wrong skin. I feel like I'm sick, but I'm having trouble swallowing my medicine.
The entire video really resonated with me, but in some of the lyrics you say, I feel like I'm a mess. I feel like I'm stuck in the wrong skin. I feel like I'm sick. I'm having trouble swallowing my medicine. This isn't how she sings it, y'all. I'm awful. It sounds way better when she says it, but those lyrics really stuck out to me. So talk to me about that.
It's interesting. I wrote Sunday at my, like, dining room table, not really knowing what it was about. And when I listened back to it a couple months later, those lyrics stuck out to me the most because I think they totally encapsulated how I felt growing up as a queer kid in a small, very religious town and a religious family. Because there was a part of me that felt like, oh, I love the experience of, like, church and community and the music, but, you know, every Sunday I was hearing some varied form of, like, you don't belong here. Just simply because I was queer. And so I don't know. I wanted, the song was sort of like a love letter to both those sides of myself, like the side that believes in spirituality and religion and, like, wanting to create positive change in the world through that way, but also who's, like, very gay and very in love and very proud of it, and wanting to be like, both of those things can and should exist in a person, and, like, people shouldn't discriminate against it.
So last night, like, your second to last song, there was a song you were singing, and before you did it, or it might have been the last song, or second to last song, you gave a little bit of an intro, and you were saying how these were, like, representative feelings that you had when you were younger. Basically saying it's hard to, I guess, fully commit to someone, so you kind of shied away from it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's easier kind of just, like, to hit and run.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that song and, like, the name of the song and why you wrote that.
The song is called Younger Days, if I
Yes,
remember.
Younger Days.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Looking back, I'm glad to see I didn't get my way in my younger days. No, I wouldn't change a thing about my younger days.
I wrote the song from a place of, like, wanting to, I feel like when we're young, we have so many ideas of what our life is going to look like by a certain time. And for me, like, I was like, I'm going to be heterosexual and married and, you know, like, work in a church forever or whatever. And all of that changed, like, so quickly. And so Younger Days for me is just kind of like a song about letting yourself in your youth discover yourself and find yourself, and, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I think there are things that I believe now that I would have never let myself believe then, and I think that song is just about acceptance, and that's been a huge personal healing theme for me. It's just like, I want to be okay with where my life is, and I want to be proud of what I've done to, like, survive and to cultivate, like, do the work as a human being to, like, cultivate, like, a, I don't know, good character and good personality and good life.
No, I love that. That's beautiful. Who is Joy's ideal collaboration? Who would you love to work with?
There's so many. How much time do we have? I am in love with Daniel Caesar. I just think he's the most interesting musician on planet Earth right now, you know?
I love Daniel Caesar too. He's a vibe.
Yeah, like, just, like, amazing songwriting, like, amazing melodies, and it's all really, like, unconventional R&B, like, and I just, like, I love that he's pushing the envelope, but, like, also really honoring, I'm a lyric and, like, storytelling person at heart, so I, like, love that he's such a good lyricist, like, he's such a good writer. There's so many, like, her, Chance the Rapper, the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Makes sense.
You know,
I'm glad you brought up Daniel Caesar, because a few months ago, I love Daniel Caesar, love his whole vibe, but I know a few months ago he got in trouble. He was trending for saying some controversial things.
Yes.
So what does that mean to you? One, I think his controversial comments were like against black people. What does that mean to you? One, when you hear things like that, and two, does that like deter you from working with them in this cancel culture? You know, we're so quick to put the X on someone. He's young, but what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, cancel culture is hard because I do think there are people who shouldn't, like, based off their actions, shouldn't be profiting from, like, R. Kelly's a great example. Of,
Bill
like,
Cosby.
Yes, like, so, like...
yes, extreme levels.
There's just clear lines. I think cancel culture, where cancel culture fails, is it tends to, like, cancel people without giving them, without teaching first, or giving them an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
So if, like, Daniel Caesar had this, like, history of, like, saying horrible things about black people, I think what he said is, like, we should stop being so mean to white people, which is not what is happening. We're holding them accountable. Exactly. Relax. I think, like, he's a kid, like, and he's just kind of like, especially the way we talk to each other these days is so angry, and it, like, tends to be really smart arguments laced with a lot of personal attacks. And so I think he's just responding to, like, why do we talk so poorly to each other? And so that's just a situation where someone needs to sit down with him and be like, yo, this is what is actually happening. So that doesn't deter me from working with someone, because I know that there's an opportunity for growth.
What are you listening to right now?
What am I listening to right now? I always shake when I'm asked this question, because I'm always listening to really old music. But I'm trying to think of something cool and contemporary to make the kids like me. The new Selena Gomez song, like, Say What You Want About Selena Gomez, the song is incredible. It's like this piano ballad with this, like, crazy, like, gospel-y chorus. There's If the World Was Ending, J.P. Sachs and Julia Michaels. Love that. Brittany Howard from Alabama Shakes just put out, like, a solo record, and it is literally perfect. Like, there's not a flaw on the album. Post Malone. I know.
So random.
I know.
Selena Gomez. A whole bunch of people I don't know. Post Malone. So random.
My phone is so hilarious because my music library is wild. Like, I was listening to it on shuffle the other day, and this song from SpongeBob came on. It's from, someone might know this out there, which is why I'm going on this tangent. Like, it's from the Bubble Bowl episode where SpongeBob and his, like, friends play the halftime show, and this song literally makes me sob every time I listen to it.
And it's sweet, sweet, sweet victory. Yeah.
It's just, I love whatever I have an emotional reaction to. Like, I don't care if it's, like, DaBaby or, like, Johnny Cash. Like, it's just all, music is so good and profound that I think everybody who does it, for the most part, has something valuable to contribute.
I love that. No, that's perfect. Whatever you have a reaction to. What can fans expect from you next?
We're finishing out the rest of the tour, which is honestly only 2 more nights. And then I really want to put out, like, I know everyone says the album is dead, or, like, bigger projects don't work anymore, but I'm such an album artist that, and my life has changed so drastically in the past few years, that I think I'm ready to just put out some of the songs that I've written, like, as an album, and, like, see what happens from there. So I'm kind of, like, in that process of picking and choosing. Other than that, I'm on Twitter. They can expect that I'll be home playing with my dog, hanging out with my girlfriend, and watching Netflix. So much Netflix.
I love that. You mentioned Bay, so I have to ask you, how did you guys meet?
It's amazing. We actually work together.
Oh, okay. I love it.
She works on like the business side of music,
Okay.
and I'm signed to the company that she works at.
Okay, cool. What is it like with family? Because it was like such a different type of upbringing. Like, how are they? Are they like receptive? Are we working on it? Where are we?
We're working on it.
Okay.
My family's from Nigeria, and in Nigeria, it's illegal to be gay.
Yes, it is.
And so, what my sisters are great because we all grew up in America, and
Yeah.
like just have different set of values. But for my parents, like it's a tension of honoring the culture and like how do we explain this to like different people around us, and also honoring their kid.
Yeah.
So I just like any tension comes from just like cultural differences,
Yeah.
and like those things take time to work out. Like there's no part of me that like is resentful to my family for being hesitant, because it's like you grew up in a totally different world than I did, and if I grew up the way you did, I might feel the same way. It's taught me so much about how to be in a relationship with people that you don't agree with, and how important that is sometimes. Because I think over the long run, their mind is going to be changed by seeing me thrive. There's a difference between someone who's like actually like attacking your right to exist,
Yes.
and someone who like has just never been exposed to it before.
Exactly.
And for my family, it's just a lack of being exposed to it.
Right.
You know, and my parents were like actually pretty liberal, and so it was more like we just never imagined it would be our own kid.
Right. I like you.
Thank you.
You're so
I like
smart.
you. This is going great.
I love this. Okay. So here at the Tylt, we're all about like debates and stuff like that. We try to get the pulse of the internet, people's opinions on things. So I'm going to ask you like some relationship kind of questions. I'm going to ask you what you think the people voted. So infidelity, do you think, is it a deal breaker? Do you think
Holy
most people
shit.
will say it's a deal breaker, or most people will say you can forgive cheating?
Okay. I'm going to assume most people said that you can forgive it.
No.
Whoa.
People are not familiar.
It's overwhelmingly the opposite.
70% people do not forgive cheating. They're not with it.
That makes sense. But I also feel like in reality, more people tend to forgive it.
They say that.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Other people say, I don't forgive cheating. But y'all forgive cheating. Stop playing. I'll say it. Y'all forgive cheating. Get out of here.
But you shouldn't.
But you shouldn't. Right, exactly. A lot of celebrities, and people in general, are into open relationships. Do you think most people voted that they are for open relationships, or that they're against open relationships? No, we're taking it there.
I'm sweating. I'm going to say 4.
4?
Yeah.
No. 64% of people are for monogamy. They're like, what's
I'm
mine
for
is
monogamy.
mine.
I just need to start answering what I think.
Yes.
Stop
you
trying
can do
to-
that.
Okay.
What do you think about after a breakup? We kind of touched this a little bit. Do you think that most people will agree that after a breakup, you should have a break, or you should just jump right back on the saddle and get into a new one?
I would wait. I'm gonna go with what I would do. I would
What
wait.
would you say?
I would say that people should say that we should wait.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. 56% of people say that you should wait after a breakup. You have to heal. We spoke to a relationship expert about it. She was really cool. She was like, yeah, you have to heal, figure out what went wrong, rebuild yourself, and then you can go into something else.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. I thought that was smart. Dating apps. We know you're booed up, but do you think dating apps are for hookups or for love? So what do you think the people think?
I'm gonna say for love because I'm a hopeless romantic.
80% of the folks say that dating apps are for hookups.
Oh,
They blew it.
it's so overwhelmingly bad how wrong I've been.
Now this is the question. This is the telltale question. This is the questions of our questions.
Okay.
I'm on no joy. This is important. It's jollof rice. Nigerian.
No. Get out of it. To me, no other jollof rice exists.
It doesn't matter.
I don't want to offend any Ghanaians out there.
Oh, they're
but-
offended. I had a Ghanaian roommate. So my first jollof rice I'm Black American, so my first jollof rice was Ghanaian. And I didn't realize how big it was until my roommate came and she's like in there sweating and making the rice. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? I am making the perfect jollof rice for the whole house. And I'm like, girl, like why? Like, is it a thing? And then I realized, oh, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
So I want to try Nigerian jollof rice. I haven't tried it yet.
I'll make you, if you come to Nashville, I'll make you Nigerian jollof.
I'm
That's
holding
easy.
you to this because I
For
want to
real.
come to
And
Nashville.
you can stay with us.
I'm so excited. Okay, yes, I'm going to Nashville for some jollof rice from Joy because I've never had the Nigerian. Thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of
It's really
course.
fun.
That was it. Do you have anything you want to say to the people, where they can find you, all your handles? This is you right here.
Hi. Things to say about myself. I'm on Spotify and Apple Music and a Russian website if you're interested. And look out for more music coming early next year.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Mama says I'm up to no good again. Couldn't make her proud, though I did my best. I feel like a mess. I feel like I'm stuck in the wrong skin. I feel like I'm sick, but I'm having trouble swallowing my medicine. Sunday, carry me down to the water, wash me clean. I'm still struggling. Sunday, bury me under the weight of who you need me to be. Can't you see I'm struggling? I keep God locked in a picture frame, so I feel a little better about my numbered days. Yeah, I confess, the questions and the answers seem to sound the same. I'm just like the rest, standing tall, pretending not to be afraid. Sunday, carry me down to the water, wash me clean. I'm still struggling. Sunday, bury me under the weight of who you need me to be. Can't you see I'm struggling? Sunday, come around, lift me up again. I'm never too proud for a helping hand. I've been feeling down. Can you hear me now? Sunday, come around, lift me up again. I'm never too proud for a helping hand. I've been feeling down. Can you hear me now? Sunday, carry me down to the water, wash me clean. I'm still struggling. Sunday, bury me under the weight of who you need me to be. Can't you see I'm struggling? Can't you see I'm struggling? Thanks.